Good afternoon and welcome to the Tameside Reporter Sports Show. We're at the Butchers Arms Stadium in Droylsden, where the pitch is looking slightly precarious ahead of the Buds' home game against Bamber Tomorrow. We'll be hearing from Ashton United Vice Chairman Steve Hobson about his side's 15-game unbeaten run, and we've also got news of a first away win of the season for Stalybridge Celtic. Well, we'll start this week looking at Curzon Ashton, who are now just 4 points above the relegation zone in the National League North after a 2-0 defeat to Chorley last weekend. The result means Curzon are winless in 4 games, and they've got a difficult task tomorrow against playoff chasing Kidderminster Harriers. Mark, I know John Flanagan came out after the game and said he won't watch boring football from his team. What does that say about him?
I think it's quite admirable. Obviously, people come, pay good money to watch decent football. They'd rather watch that than lumping it forward to a striker who'll just go and bang it in the back of the net. You know, I've seen Curzon a lot this season. They do play great passing football. They've got the pitch to do that at the Tameside Stadium. However, at this point of the season, when you're only 4 points above the relegation zone, maybe it's just about grinding out results.
Well, Curzon will be hoping to grind out a result against Kidderminster at the Tameside Stadium this weekend, hoping to take advantage of some of the Harriers' recent misfortune.
Well, they lost the one last weekend, didn't they? But before that, they were 14 games unbeaten. So Kidderminster, you know, fantastic team this season. Look like they'll be involved in the playoffs. Make no mistake, it'll be a difficult game for Curzon this weekend.
Well, this weekend's fixture also marks the end of Natalie Atkinson's reign at the Tameside Stadium. She's moving on to Southport on Monday. Mark, a bittersweet day for Curzon.
Yeah, definitely. Natalie's done a lot for the club, brought in a lot of revenue, you know, spread the image of Curzon Ashton, not just in Tameside but across Greater Manchester as well. Obviously, it will be a bit of pill to swallow for the Curzon faithful, but for her personally, she's got to further her career.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all congratulate Natalie in the new job, but it is disappointing for Curzon. I mean, she's done a lot for the club, hasn't she? You know, bringing in the kids, offering free season tickets to kids in Tameside, things like that. It's a great initiative.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about Stalybridge Celtic now, who finally picked up their first away win of the season on Tuesday night. It was a 3-0 win at Alsager Town in the Cheshire Senior Cup. So, Mark, it might have been the Cheshire Cup, but finally an away win for Stalybridge.
Well, an away win is an away win at the end of the day, especially when you're struggling like Celtic are this season. And by all accounts, it was a comprehensive victory at Alsager Town. Greg Wilkinson scored along with a Matty Wolfenden brace, so it's good to see Matty Wolfenden has returned from injury. I know he suffered with that this season. Greg Wilkinson's also been out for quite a while, so 2 players who may become quite important towards the end of the season.
Well, Stalybridge will host Stockport County in the next round of the Cheshire Senior Cup, but we'll look at the Evo-Stik Premier Division now, because just 3 days before that game, Celtic drew 2-0 at Buxton in a game they'll have been disappointed not to win, Lee.
Very disappointing. I mean, they went 2-0 up, didn't they? You know, fantastic little 2-0 up away at Buxton, you know, not an easy place to go, and we thought they were finally going to hold on for those 3 points, but they have doubled their away tally for this season with that draw, so positive to look at.
Well, Celtic are back at Bowerfold this weekend, hosting Grantham Town, who sit in second place and boast the league's leading scorer in Lee Shaw with 23 goals. So it's going to be a long afternoon for Stalybridge, do you think, Mark?
It could be, although I'm led to believe there's a pitch inspection at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Could be a reprieve then.
Yeah, there's been a lot of rain over the past week, so it wouldn't surprise me if the Bowerfold pitch is currently underwater. I know that Secretary Michael Beach tweeted someone on Friday basically saying that it's as wet as an otter's pocket, so that says it all.
Well, we'll move across the borough now to Ashton United, who gained a valuable point at Witton Albion last weekend. 1-0 draw at Wincham Park, Mark. It could have been better though. It
could have been better. Ashton took the lead in the 4th minute through Mark Lees, but then Witton responded immediately through Steve Thames. Ashton did have a player sent off in the first half, meaning they only had 10 men during the whole of the second half. They were awarded a penalty though, but they had it saved, so all in all 2 points drop maybe.
Yeah, a bit gutting, isn't it?
Well, that draw did make it 15 games unbeaten for Ashton United. Mark spoke earlier this week to Ashton Vice Chairman Steve Hobson, who said he's delighted with the current run of form.
I'm very pleased with what we've been doing. You know, we've had a lot of injuries early doors, and continue to have injuries. But the managing team's done very well to keep the squad going, and the lads have worked hard and got us the results we needed.
So what's your impression been of Jody and Simon so far?
Yeah, fantastic. Really good. You know, he's one of the best managers we've had in a long, long time. It's his first season in management, and he's taken to it like a duck to water, really.
So there has been a lot of injuries. You've been plagued by injuries actually, especially at the start of the season. The likes of Ryan Crowther out for the entire season. Where's he up to with his injury at the moment?
I think we've got Josh Stakini's out for the rest of the season. We've had lads carrying knocks for most of the season, and we've got Josh Granick came back on Saturday, having been out for I think the last 10 weeks. JP was out for quite a while. He started to come back, so hopefully, you know, as we come for the running for the season, we're starting to get one or two players back into the squad.
And of course, Matt Chadwick was one of the league's leading scorers last season. You must have been impressed by his willingness to stay at the club.
Of course, yeah. It's we're delighted. You know, we're really pleased. We're a small club, and a lot of clubs come to us and they start cherry picking our players. But I think what we've got off the field, the players, the supporters, everybody all pulls together, and the lads recognise that and want to stay for that reason.
Brilliant stuff. So obviously I think you're 6th in the table at the moment. Is playoffs a minimum at this point of the season?
Depends who you ask. Yeah, we want it. We still think we can win it, you know, and I think we've got a good chance of getting in the playoffs. But the only pressure Jody's under is the pressure he puts himself under.
Well, Steve said there he thinks Ashton can still win the title this season. Do you agree with him?
I think it might be a big ask, especially considering where they are at the table. I mean, 13 points behind Altrincham out there. I know they've got 2 games in hand, so if they win those 2 games, call it 7 points behind. Now they have got 2 games against Altrincham still to play. If they win both of them, that brings them within a point. So I can see where Steve's coming from, but I think it'll be very difficult. You know, a club the size of Altrincham, they are a huge club, aren't they? Especially for this division. They've got the resources, they've got the players, so I think it'll be difficult to challenge them for the title.
I was looking on the Evo-Stik Premier site the other day. Ashton United have the second lowest average home attendance this season with 167, so to see them still competing for the playoffs and maybe even have a title shot, that speaks volumes. They're doing fantastic this season. Maybe they are overachieving in many respects.
Maybe so, yeah. I think I'd agree with that. I think they probably are overachieving. You know, they've done fantastic in the recent season, having to continuously make it to the playoffs, but like you say, it's got to be difficult with only 160 people coming week in, week out to watch you.
Definitely.
Well, Ashton will be hoping to make it 16 games unbeaten when Stafford visit Hurst Cross this weekend. Ironically, the last time Ashton were beaten was at Stafford in mid-October, so revenge game on the cards, do we reckon?
Possibly, yeah.
They're not going to want to be beaten by him again, are they? They're going to want to hold on to that, you know, fantastic run of form that's sort of seen them up the table.
Well, there's more incentive now to beat them, isn't there? Obviously, they want to get that title, like Steve said in the interview then, so hopefully it's 3 points for the Robins.
Fingers crossed.
Well, let's move into the Evo-Stik First Division North now, where Mossley suffered a heavy defeat at South Shields last weekend. The Lily-Whites actually took the lead through Liam Ellis, but went on to lose 5-1 up in the North East. So, Mark, does that just show how good South Shields are? Yeah,
definitely. To go a goal behind and then respond in the way that they did, for me, that's a championship quality. It wouldn't surprise me to see them clinch the title this season, although we would like Hyde to clinch it though, wouldn't we?
Well, yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Ashton's attendances there. What was Ashton's attendance?
167, yeah.
Average attendance, and what's South Shields?
Last week they got 1,318.
You can't compete with that, can you?
No.
I mean, the financial resources that are available to them just because of the attendance is absolutely huge. So I think South Shields, I think there's only Hyde that can catch them, certainly, but I think Hyde will do it.
You've got Scarborough Athletic in the mix as well, obviously top of the table at the moment, but because of games played, it's very hard to, you know, who's going to win it? I just don't know who's going to win it.
Very unpredictable.
Very tight.
Well, Mossley responded to that heavy defeat by signing 4 players this week. For more details, you can visit tamesidereporter.com. We're going to look at Glossop now, who came from behind to earn a 1-1 draw at Trafford last weekend. The Hillmen are now just 2 points outside the playoff places, so signs of a bit of a revival for Glossop.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah.
They've snuck right in there, haven't they? I mean, they've sort of gone in quietly. You know, if they can make the playoffs this season, I think that's a fantastic achievement, especially considering what they went through at the start of the season, where they were struggling for players, and you know, the manager was a bit like I said, he had difficulty picking his team, things like that. So, well done, Glossop.
A point against Trafford, who are in remarkable form at the moment. Not bad, especially on home soil, and especially after falling behind. So, it will be a tight end to the season. Do Glossop have the quality to forge their way into the playoffs? Not so sure, but I'm sure Paul Phillips and Steve Halford will give it a good go.
Well, Glossop's fellow playoff chasers Droylsden find themselves in 7th spot after a 3-3 draw at Ossett Albion at the weekend. The Bloods were 3-1 down going into the dying minutes of that game, but managed to salvage a point, so great character from the Bloods.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, great character, definitely it's good to have a comeback, but I think they'll be disappointed drawing that game. I mean, that's a game that they should be winning, especially, like I say, if they do want to make the playoffs, you know. Disappointing really to concede 3 against such a poor team.
Ossett have struggled this season, but then again they just appointed a new manager in Andy Welsh, so maybe that's lifted morale around the club, and that can do wonders for a squad.
Well, finally in the Evo-Stik First Division North, title chasing Hyde took a bit of a blow at the weekend with a 1-1 draw at Brighouse Town. The Tigers were leading in that game through Marcus Marshall, but conceded a late equaliser. They're now 5th mark, 5 points behind Scarborough at the top. Do we still think they're going to win the league?
We said it a moment ago. It's going to be very, very tight. I just don't know who to call. You know, who's going to be Scarborough, South Shields or Hyde? They're the 3 for me.
3 worthy champions as well. I mean, I think the 2 that don't win the league could rightly feel hard done by. I mean, probably any other year they would have won the league. I mean, they'll be disappointed to have dropped points last weekend, but they've still got a few games in hand. They've still got time to make it up. I'm still backing Hyde to do it. Yeah,
and they've got South Shields. I think it's next Saturday actually, so that'll be a huge game. If they lose that, then I think the title is out of range. However, they win it, it makes it so exciting.
Can't wait.
Well, finally this week we're just going to look ahead to the FA Cup 4th round next weekend. Yeovil Town have been hosted a glamour tie at home to Manchester United on Friday night, and one of their players, Otis Khan, actually comes from Ashton, so let's wish Otis the best of luck against United. What a great opportunity for him.
No, I'm a United fan. I hope he has a terrible game. No, I mean, it's fantastic, isn't it? He was originally in United's academy, and now he'll be playing against them, so, you know, well done. It just shows as well, once these kids are released from the academies, there is chances for them at lower echelons of the game.
Well, I think he was released from United at 16, then went on to Sheffield United, then to Barnsley, and with both those clubs he made Wembley final appearances during their playoff campaigns, so great to see, and he's revived his career at Yeovil.
Well, he's made a real impact at Yeovil. We were looking at his Twitter account earlier today, and we saw some of the goals that he scored. He scored an absolute screamer that won goal of the month, didn't he, last month, so I think it'll be an exciting game for him.
Let's hope he has a great game. That's all we've got time for this week, but don't forget, for a more in-depth roundup of sport across the borough, you can tune into the Sporting Spotlight on Tameside Radio tonight at 6 o'clock with Mark, Lee and Adam.